Have you ever looked at all the different types of Ultra-Texes out there and wondered exactly which one is right for you and also how do you use them? Well, we're gonna find out today, right, Scott?
Yep, so on WTF today, we're gonna look at all the different Ultra-Tex and Ultra-Sperse to figure out which one you need to do what you want here on WTF. Hello and welcome to WTF, where we transform food here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen. I'm Chef Scott Guerin.
And I'm Janie Wang, the owner of Modernist Pantry. So today we have a primer for you on all the different types of Ultra-Texes and Ultra-Sperses. So they are modified starches, but there's quite a little bit of difference between them. So without further ado, Scott, we're gonna jump right into it. Let's start with these Ultra-Texes. What's the difference between 3, 4, and 8?
Great, so Ultra-Tex is a modified starch, and Ultra-Tex 3 and Ultra-Tex 4 are basically have the same thickening and the same viscosity as one another, but Ultra-Tex 3 is made of tapioca and Ultra-Tex 4 is made of corn. So if you have an aversion to either one of those, you have a choice. Ultra-Tex 8 has slightly more viscosity and has a creamier texture. So if you just need something to thicken up quickly, it will do almost twice the work as an Ultra-Tex 3 or an Ultra-Tex 4, so you just need a little bit less. Those are very simple, and that one, the Ultra-Tex 8, is made of tapioca as well.
Okay, and then we got these two Ultra-Sperses.
Yes, Ultra-Sperses. People go, oh, what's the difference between Ultra-Tex and Ultra-Sperse? Well, Ultra-Sperse will disperse easier into a liquid. Where you need a blender or a hand blender when you're using Ultra-Tex, you only need a whisk when you're using Ultra-Sperse 3 or Ultra-Sperse M. And then, what's the difference between Ultra-Sperse 3 and Ultra-Sperse M? Ultra-Sperse 3 is made of tapioca. It works just like Ultra-Tex 3, just mixes in a lot easier. And then Ultra-Sperse M is made of corn. And the benefit of that is that it can go to very high temperatures and it can withstand higher acidity. So if you're trying to do something like pure lemon juice, you can use Ultra-Tex M to thicken it either cold or hot. And that's the great benefit of all of these, is that they work cold or hot. So if you have something cold and you just want to make it thick, you can do that, where you couldn't normally do that with a normal cornstarch.
Yeah, which brings me to my next question. The question we always get is, well, why can't I just use cornstarch, and why is this better than cornstarch? So why is it better than just regular plain old cornstarch or tapioca starch?
We talk about this a lot. There's a modification done to it which allows it to hydrate into cold liquids and thicken those cold liquids. So if you wanted a nice, like, pure lemon juice curd that you made and you don't want to heat it because you don't want to change the flavor of it, you can thicken it with the Ultra-Tex or Ultra-Sperse. Right,
yeah. And will it kind of clump up, or, like, do you run into any of those issues?
No, it's really great, because even with cornstarch, if you mix it in, it's great when you do it. Then you cool it and you try and reheat it. Generally there's clumps, you have to pass it through a strainer, you're getting waste out of that. This, when you reheat it, you may see some, but if you whisk them, they'll go right back in, because those clumps aren't really clumps, they're just parts that haven't heated properly yet. So they'll just whisk right in it and be really perfect, because we can see this is a reheated modern bechamel that we make, and it's perfectly thin.
All right, and how did you make this bechamel, Scott?
So this is great, and there's actually going to be a recipe on the blog for it, where I take out all the flour. And that's another thing with these ingredients, you don't have to add a roux, and roux tend to cause lots of problems, especially with young chefs and young cooks who don't cook them long enough. And if you don't cook them long enough, you get that raw flour flavor, and it just ruins whatever you're trying to make. With the Ultra-Tex and Ultra-Sperse, you get no flavor out of it. You get the same thickening properties. You don't get the lumps. You don't have to strain. So it's a much better product. So I take all the basic elements of a nice bechamel. I take the milk, I take the onion, the clove, the bay leaf, salt, white pepper, and then I also do one thing, because you do want that little bit of butteriness to it. So I brown some butter just as if I was making like a blonde roux, and I put it in there, and the Ultra-Tex will actually emulsify that butter right into it. So you get a nice clean butter, milk, and everything flavored without having to have it bogged down by all that flour.
Okay, that's wonderful. So that's definitely, we're looking at time savings, error proofing, which is important in the kitchen these days, and making sure that everyone can make this beautiful bechamel sauce, right?
And then we actually have a little demo that we're going to do right here.
All right.
So I have a stock that I made out of turkey bones. And I have about 500 grams of the stock here, and I have 15 grams of the Ultra-Tex 3. And the reason why I'm using this is because I want to show you how easy it is to mix it in with just a hand blender.
Okay.
And there's also a recipe for this. It's an herb-infused gravy, so I put thyme, I put rosemary, bay leaf, and I just allow it to sit in there, and I have a nice clear broth. So I'm going to just take it, and I'm going to put my stick blender here on low. Right, just make sure it's on low. And I'm going to get it going, and then I'm just going to gently sprinkle in my Ultra-Tex 3. Yep, and sometimes you just have to move the stick blender around.
And just remember, if you don't want to have to do this, you can just go with the Ultra-Sperse 3 and get the same benefits, but you can whisk it in instead.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's some things, see how it's just kind of clumping to the outside there? That's common with the Ultra-Tex, just because it's trying to mix into that liquid, but it's not going to mix as easy as the Ultra-Sperse.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
And I think we're not even doing that much, so if you have like a bigger pot of this,
much easier.
It'd be a lot easier.
Yep. Great.
So as we're doing this, so Scott, what are some of the other benefits of kind of these products? You know, like what are some of the savings that people get out of using it? Like if you were doing this without the ultras and you're just trying to do it the traditional way, what's the difference there?
So the difference between using the Ultra-Tex and Ultra-Sperse, the big one is time saving. If you're going to be doing this normal recipe, usually you would have to cook the turkey first, and then you would have to take the bones out, you have to roast the bones, then you would have to take those bones that were roasted, you have to make a stock out of it. You'd have to do all of this, but then at that point, you're going to have to, you know, on the day of Thanksgiving, we'll say, you're going to have to take all that stock, you're going to have to, while you're doing a million other things, then you're going to have to make a roux, and then you're going to have to add that stock. Whereas if you have that stock all ready to go, you can make the, you know, the gravy right at the last second. Or if you do what we did here, which is make it a nice, beautiful roulade out of the turkey, which means I took off the breast, I took some Mooglu RM, and I've stuck them together. Then I wrapped them in the skin. I put it in the sous vide until about 155 degrees, and then I just put it in a 500-degree oven until it was nice and beautifully crisp on the outside. I had all those bones nice and early, so I made this stock early. So I'm not trying to do two things at once on a day like Thanksgiving, which is already hectic.
Right, so you're going to be saving also your burner space, which you're desperately going to need. And then I think with if you put in disperses, you could potentially also freeze your gravy ahead of time, right? Thaw, but then still have it nice and not like gross.
Yeah, so if you use the Ultra-Tex, or I'm sorry, Ultra-Sperse M, you could do the freeze and thaw. So yep, you can put it in the freezer, pull it out, and it'll be just the same.
Yeah, and that's going to be a great time savings. So let's take a closer look right now at our gravy that we just made in, what, like a minute?
Yes.
Yeah.
Be nice if I had a spoon.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would be nice. Hold on. All right.
Yes.
It's not it's a caviar spoon, but it is the closest spoon we have on hand.
We have a nice, beautiful spoon here.
Yeah, we're going live with this, people.
Yeah. So yeah, it took what, a minute to make a nice, beautiful gravy.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that. So all we have to do is then we take this and we can put it right over. But since I already have my bechamel here, which you can also use, put this right over the top of the chicken or the turkey, whatever you're making.
Ooh, that looks delicious.
Yes.
So we're going to eat this afterwards. So if you don't know, we typically eat everything that we've plated after the shows.
So it's as simple as that. You can do it with the gravy. You can make, you know, thicken soup slightly with this. You can thicken stock slightly with this. You can do a lot of great different things with this and not have to worry about the, you know, the things that happen usually when you use roux or use cornstarch.
Yeah. So if you're watching this and you're like, they've given a lot of information, but I don't remember what it is and I don't know how much of anything to use, don't worry. On the blog, we actually put all this information into a comparison chart.
Yes.
So you can look at exactly what your usage is, what your usage ratios are, which one's good for what, and how do you do them. So all the information's going to be there. So don't worry. Just enjoy Scott's wonderful talking voice.
So also one thing I put on there is that if you want to know, oh, I want a dessert sauce or I want a glaze or something like that, there's also extra usage ratios because sometimes usage ratios are about 10 different things.
Yes.
So this is great. So you can see different amounts for different items. So. Yeah,
absolutely. All right. So as we're wrapping up here, is there anything else that we should leave the folks with before we eat this turkey, which I'm eyeing constantly?
I would just, choose one that if you like tapioca or you prefer corn, doesn't matter to you. then you can choose those. If you want more of a thickening power, choose Ultra-Tex 8. If you want something that's going to mix in easily, it doesn't have to go through a blender or a hand blender, use the Ultra-Sperses.
Yeah.
If you need something that goes high heat, like either my bechamel, or I could have used it in this gravy if I was going to bring it to a simmer, use the Ultra-Sperse M.
Yeah. Oh, and just one thing quickly. I know, we were talking about this beforehand, which is that we're all trying to be a little more health conscious these days. So when you use one of the Ultras, you're reducing or eliminating the amount of butter, the amount of flour. So you're getting a healthier product, a less costly product, right? Because you're taking out all that really expensive butter.
Yes.
So
yeah, so I put butter in this, but I didn't have to put it into my
Right.
gravy. Gravy doesn't need butter. It's already delicious on its own.
Yes.
Plain milk does. So so it really is up to you. But yes, you can get a lot of health benefits of just not having to eat all that extra flour, or if you have an aversion to flour. This is as easy as that.
There you go. So from here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, I'm Janie Wang.
And I'm Scott Garrett. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you want these great recipes and these awesome ingredients, first you're going to have to like, comment, and subscribe. And then you're going to go to blog.modernistpantry.com where you can find those awesome recipes and you can ask a chef. And to get these great ingredients, go to modernistpantry.com. And until next time, we'll be here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen helping you transform food.